What's up, everybody? Julian here. Today we're going to be talking about why Anelia is blowing up melodic techno right now. Anelia is making really crazy tracks, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make them and how it's going on. As usual, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Thanks for the support, guys. Make sure to grab that so you can follow along. And let's dive in. Alright, so here's the template. We're at 124 BPM. First thing we got here is a little side chain, and then we have our kick bass. So yeah, I like to treat these as one thing. I think it's very important for the groove that they are one thing, and then everything else is kind of sitting on top of these. So it starts here with this kick. This is one I made a little while ago, actually. And then I'm just converting it to mono, and then the bass. So you can see the bass, we're in the key of F minor, so what it's doing is it's droning on F for a while. With this little groove, right? And then it repeats the same groove, but it goes 4th, 6th, 7th, root again. So it kind of walks back up, right? But it gives you the F root note for a long enough time to establish the sound and to kind of like, yeah, let you know that that's home bass. For the sound on this, it's made with Operator. Operator's really good for these little punchy Afterlife style basses. I've just got one saw wave, which is nice and fat, going into a low pass filter with a little bit of an envelope. We got a small subcut. I'm just cutting out the low end at 26 hertz so that it's nice and punchy and tight and not messy. Converting it to mono, and then we're side chaining it to the kick. On the group of those, we have a little bit of processing. Here's without it. With it. So it's just a little bit of drum bus. It's only 7%, right? But it just glues this together. We've got the subcut again to kind of like make these more uniform, and then we're converting it to mono. So from there, we go to our drums. Right, it's all centered around this main hi-hat. 2 layers, so tambourine, plus like a nice punchy hi-hat. You can see that I dragged that forward a little bit. Plus, there's a ride on there, which is being sidechained, very important for that groove. We got a nice short snare, a shaker, which is sidechained and just playing 16 notes, plus a live percussion, which we're cutting out the lows, and then we're also sidechaining that. See, it's just those bright highs to give it something a little bit more organic. Then we've got this synth. So what this does is it follows the same progression as the bass line. Again, root note for 4 bars, then 4th, 6th, 7th, root, right? But it's just doing it a little bit different. But you can hear to kind of establish the progression by just having this here. It makes things very powerful. All this is a big unison 2 saw waves. One is, I guess, kind of more like a square, going into a low pass filter with an envelope here inside a wavetable. So it just closes like really slowly. A bunch of unison, which also helps make it sit apart from the bass, right? Sidechain, high pass, and then we move on to these chords. Now all this pad is doing is the same progression I've been talking about, root, 4th, 6th, 7th, root again, but now we're adding the 5th and the 3rd to the chords. So we're doing root, 5th, 3rd, right? Whether that be major or minor. Like this starts minor, that's a minor one, major, major, minor again, right? But it's just following the same progression that the bass line was doing. Now, this is made with a wavetable. It's 1 saw wave, a ton of unison, some chorus and reverb, which kind of help push it a little to the back so it's not fighting with the main bass. High pass filter, which is up pretty high because there's a lot happening in the mid-range. You know, like that. And then just a side chain. So then we have this lead. right? So this is using some notes from this F minor scale, like the 5th, 4th, 3rd, 9th, another 5th, and then a root. Really simple stuff, but it's just adding these little melodic hits. Right? It's almost in the background a little bit. What it is it's just one saw wave filtered. There's not even an envelope on the filter, right? It's just a nice deeper kind of sound. Noise unison all the way up, a bunch of reverb, and then sidechain. That's it. That's all you really need to create something really nice and atmospheric like that. Then we have this lead. So these are the kind of afterlife stabs you hear a lot. You notice all that like roll that's happening is in the MIDI. I think a lot of times people hear this and they're daunted by like, how are they doing that in a synth patch? It's not. It's just very carefully placed MIDI with these 30-second notes and 16 notes to create that roll. Now, all it's doing, and then it's just the root note. Usually you just want to have this play the root note. Here it does that 7th, since that's what the chord is doing there, but yeah. For the actual sound, this is pretty easy to make. It's using wavetable. It's a saw wave with a very punchy short envelope. So you can just hear every individual note on those 30-second notes. A ton of unison, and then we distort it a little bit to give it the punch. Like without the distortion, with. So yeah, if you focus it in the mid-range like that, it really brings it to life. And then the last synth is this lead. Right, so all we're doing here is, it's really this 3rd, 9th, 5th mostly. A little bit of 4th, a little bit of root note, a little bit of 6th. And then up here is just another 3rd. It's the same thing as this. But you're really sticking to those voices and then like kind of how it interacts with the bass line and the chord progression. And then when you go here. So for the sound on this one, it's made with wavetable. It's a saw wave and a square wave together at the same octave. Detuned a lot though. I've got just a bit of unison here. And then some overdrive. Here's without that. With. It's really important because it gives it that like heat that it needs to kind of cut through. Chorus, reverb, high pass, and then we're just side chaining it. And then we have a bit of white noise. Just going through some reverb and side chaining heavily so that it'll bounce off the kick. But this is also very important too because you need these to be really this full like big breathing thing, and that helps really fill out the sound spectrum. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more melodic techno like this. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Make sure to grab this template as well. Links at the top of the description, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.